Hello there, everyone. My name is Paige.
And I'm Monique.
And we are
Sacred Potential,
where we discuss the overlap of spirituality, creativity, and possibility. It seems like it's been a minute, or maybe more than a minute, since we've seen you. I said minute, sorry. Since we've seen you. But no, perhaps you can delight these people in terms of what we will be discussing. In terms of what we will be discussing today.
Yeah, well, since what we're all about is talking about the overlap of creativity, spirituality, and possibility. And so we wanted to bring up something that I think probably 99.9% of the population has had to deal with this year. And as you already see in the title, it's about the delight in delay.
Yeah.
Which sounds like a contradiction, but it's not.
But there is a delight in it, and it's so funny because I actually had this revelation when looking at the word delay, because I realized delay is basically just saying not yet. Mm-hmm. It's not to say that it won't be, it's just not yet. It's like I'm waiting for the train so that I can get to work. I'm gonna be a little late, but I will be there, you know? And so the revelation that I got is like, yeah, it's frustrating in terms of, oh my gosh, what's taking so long? But knowing that that thing will be, you know, that's where you can find your joy, potentially. I don't know, what do you think, Mo?
Yeah, yes, well, one of the things that I was thinking about is this thing that delays are not denials. So just because something hasn't happened yet, it's kind of like, just to go back to a train reference, just because the train hasn't come yet, okay, maybe the train hasn't come yet, maybe there's another train coming, maybe that train's better than the other train that was, yeah.
Ladies?
That was, or men.
Or men.
Yeah, so actually the very fact that you're having to wait means, that's what I've taken it to mean, is that I'm being prepared for something, and that, Devon Franklin, who we love, he talks about pray and prepare. So there's no point in, praying for something or asking for something or wanting something if you're not also preparing for that thing that you are praying for.
And there's also giving yourself an opportunity to enjoy preparation time. Like, I remember once upon a time, I did not like cooking at all. And then I remember praying, I was like, Lord, give me the desire to cook. And then I felt in my spirit, well, why don't you start cooking and maybe the desire will develop. And I was like, okay, Lord, let's see. So I actually started, I was like, okay, let me take the time and start chopping those onions and like getting the boiling water prepared or whatever it is, like, just going through the process of preparation. And I actually found it to be incredibly therapeutic. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm this weird person who likes to pretend that I'm on a cooking show. So I found delight in that. It was like, oh my gosh, now it's like, yes, I'm hungry and I can't wait to have the meal, but I can't wait to talk to my audience and have my little cooking show. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled. And then I'm like cooking and like preparing. And I found delight in that. So it's kind of like, give yourself the opportunity. If you know you have to wait for something, you know you have to. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh my gosh, the train is going to be like another 15 minutes before it comes. What are you going to do? Listen to some music. Maybe text a friend.
Learn a language.
Do something during that time. Mm-hmm. It's like, don't just spend that time counting the minutes or counting the hours, counting the days or whatever it is. It's like, delight. Use that time. Those that wait upon the Lord. Oh, sorry, I just had a moment. Because there is a scripture actually. Isaiah, I think it's Isaiah 40, 29 to 31. I'm going to read it, if you don't mind. Okay, so this scripture says, Isaiah 29.
Those who wait upon the Lord.
Exactly. It says, okay, he energizes those who get tired, gives fresh strength to dropouts, for even young people tire and drop out. Young folk in their prime stumble and fall. But those who wait upon the God get fresh strength. They spread their wings and soar like eagles. They run and don't get tired. They walk and don't lag behind. Mo, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, yeah, that just that if there's a delay, there's a good reason for it. And of course, we can't usually see that until we're on the other side of whatever that good reason is.
Very true.
But to trust that there is a good reason, and you know, you may be being protected from something, you may be being prepared for something, or there's just something to learn in the very situation that may be challenging right now. Yeah. And also, yeah, just that delays deepen your faith, because you know, if there's something that you believe is meant to happen in your life, and you're trusting that it's going to happen, and you really believe that, well, what better way to really like hone that point, you know, like really drive that point home, than to just be with it, to sit with it for quite some time. And you know, I'm a professional waiter, not in like at a restaurant.
I didn't think about that.
I could tell you, yeah, we're talking decades, people.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that there's gifts. That the other thing is that there's gifts tucked into the times of waiting. Yeah. So if you're looking for those gifts, you will find them and you will see them, and if you're expected to see them. So sometimes the very thing that pops up in the middle of your waiting could be part of the process of getting your life to the thing that you envision. Yeah. And you know, we've shared stories before about just things that have happened. I could talk about them, but we're not going to those yet right now. But like for Paige, you know, getting into London Fashion Week, and the very fact that things sort of happen within the waiting process that are the very things that you were hoping for. Yeah, yeah. Just maybe in a different way.
For sure, for sure. I'm trying to remember. I feel like there was something else I was going to say regarding it, but yeah, I was going to say ultimately, not necessarily all the time, but I definitely know that in my own experiences that when that thing, whatever it is, finally does happen, usually I'm like saying, now I get why it took so long for me to wait and everything. Even, let me just keep it real, even in terms of jobs that I've had in the past where it's like, really, like they seem like such a waste of time. I didn't understand the point of it. And in a certain way, that can almost feel like a stage of waiting, because this is not necessarily what I wanted. Like, this is what I wanted over here. But I'm in this situation in terms of a job or whatever, and it's just like, why am I doing this? Why am I here? And then suddenly, there's this moment of realization, this is why I had this. This is why I was in this situation. I get it now. But it's like, you know, I remember I was working at a homeless shelter back in the day when I was living in New York, and I remember this homeless woman, one of the people in the shelter, she was talking about like having a canvas and standing so close to the painting that you can only see but so much. You can't really see. You don't have a really good, clear picture of what's going on. And then in order to do that, you have to step back. You have to step back in order to do that. And that's essentially like, you know, I believe like thinking like that's who God is. Like he can see the whole picture. We're standing too close to realize what's actually happening. But that's where trust comes in, and that's where you surrender to him and be like, okay, I know you can see what I can't, so because you're going to be my eyes and I trust your sight more than my own, I'm just going to give this to you. And that's, you know, that's basically where it comes to casting your care while you wait, because trust me, I know, I think everybody knows waiting can be difficult, but the whole point of where our message is, it doesn't only have to be difficult, it can actually be delightful. So. Yeah.
And also trusting the timing of things. Very good. Trusting that there is a time, and you know, there's a time and a season for everything, and just, you know, get like the if you can get in the mode of like, you know, it's gonna happen, and you just stay in that mode. Then it's like all the little, that's where I find like there's all these little gifts that get tucked in there, because then you're in the mode of excitement about what's coming. Even if you don't know when or how, but somehow it seems like somehow things happen faster if you're in that mode of excitement and expectation. And yeah, we'll eventually be sharing an amazing, miraculous story that's happened in my life. But we need to get to where we can actually have a special guest on to share that story. So anyways, but yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
Yep. Yeah. Pretty much gonna say, until then, like, I think we should just challenge you guys out there to actually look for the details in the delight of your delay.
Yeah, and also one of the things, if we haven't mentioned before, but just we're going to throw it out there, is if you ever, there's anything that you're waiting on in your life or that you are expectant about, feel free to send us a message. And if you want us to pray over those things, because like we can testify of all the things that have happened in our lives, and we know it's because we're praying and God is working in our lives. So we'd love to pray for you and just to join with you and be kind of like, so that when these things happen and you tell us, we can share the excitement and the joy with you.
Word.
So yeah.
So thank you so much again, guys, for joining us. It's always a delight for us to speak with you, and we look forward to the next time. Until then, toodaloo.